Today on the channel, we've got the enlightened version of everybody's favorite Cobra Ninja. We've got Storm Shadow on Way I Got It Figured.
The way I got it figured.
What's up, figure fans? Way I Got It Figured, back with another G.I.Joe classified series review. This time we're looking at 131, Storm Shadow. Storm Shadow is, of course, a fan favorite, and this is the fourth version of Storm Shadow in classified series. We finally got the 1988 version 2 from A Real American Hero version of Storm Shadow with some modern upgrades. We're going to talk about that. This version of Storm Shadow came after he had his brush with death. The second version of Storm Shadow came out in 1988, and while a lot of G.I. Joe fans were probably moving on to other things, I was still collecting G.I. Joe, and of course, I love this version of Storm Shadow. He, in the comic books, had nearly died when he was shot down on the beach of Cobra Island by the Baroness when he was attempting to get revenge on Zartan for the death of his uncle, the Hard Master, and Snake Eyes saved him from almost getting killed in trying to get his revenge, but he wasn't able to save him when they got separated and he was on the beach of Cobra Island while Snake Eyes was fighting a shark. So he ended up going into a ninja trance called the Sleeping Phoenix, and he awoke after they used his DNA to create Serpentor, along with other DNA, not just his. And he left Cobra and went to live in Snake Eyes' cabin in the High Sierras, where he contemplated his life and realized that revenge just wasn't worth it, basically. He actually became a kind of really philosophical character after that point, and he clearly was one of Larry Hama's favorites. He didn't want the only Asian character at the time to be a bad guy, so he ended up creating a whole story of how he wasn't really a bad guy, even though he's a ninja. So I don't know how good you can be and be a ninja. They're basically assassins, but you know what I mean. So eventually, while he was in semi-retirement, he would take on missions for G.I. Joe here and there, until he became full-time once again when they came up with the ninja force that he put together and led and trained. So that's the sort of backstory on this version of Storm Shadow, and we're going to get into them in our review as we normally do. So we're going to look at his package, we're going to get him out, check him out with his accessories, play with him a little bit, and do some comparisons before we get you out of here with some final thoughts. Starting off with Storm Shadow's packaging, we got the new universal packaging. Very nice artwork of Storm Shadow on the side. Some stuffs, things that don't work. Pretty cool figure photography of Storm Shadow there. And in his insets, you got his mask and his Arashikage tattoo. And then looking at his combat symbols, he's got 4 covert operations, 3 bladed weapons, 3 infiltration, and 4 ninjitsu. That's Storm Shadow in a nutshell. We're going to get him out and check him out. Alright, so we've got Storm Shadow out of the package with his accessories laid before him, as we always do. And he comes with a lot of reused parts, which some people are probably going to be bummed out about, but I think they did appropriate parts for him to come with. So getting into that, he did have one claw back in '88. He comes with two now, and these claws come with nunchuck for sure. It might come, I think they come with somebody else. I can't remember who right now. Definitely nunchuck. The swords are from perhaps among others, Jinx and swords. He also only came with one in 1988. He comes with the compound bow that we've been seeing more regularly amongst characters, but that's appropriate again for this version. And the backpack, which is also included with Naugahyde and Shadow Tracker, and it's got arrows on it, but he doesn't come with the extra arrow this time, so I don't really miss it all that much, though. I'm not going to complain. The other thing he comes with, as we're seeing more and more with G.I.Joe Classified series, and it's welcome. It's a welcome thing that we're seeing. Is he comes with two sets of additional hands. So he comes with choppy hands and he comes with fists. And I'm cool with that. The choppy hands, of course, could also be saluting hands, but they don't want to get all saluty, so somebody like Duke, who you would want to have something like this, doesn't come with it. But I like the inclusion of hands. Looking at Storm Shadow himself, he's a very interesting mix of things. So this figure, for one, I want to say right off break, it looks way better in hand than what we kind of thought we were going to be getting. The red highlights and extra stuff sort of were turning people off, but honestly, I think it's cool. I do like it, and I also feel like we will get a retro card version that'll be more true to the original '88 version. This is sort of like a modern version, and I'm cool with that. So his parts makeup is like he's got the regular ninja chest. I guess we can call it that now, because there are a lot of people with that ninja chest. Honestly, I think the legs are new. I don't know of any ninja that has these flared out legs like this. And I feel like these are like overlays. They're not even like really his legs. It might be overlays of the regular ninja legs under here, but I can't tell, and they don't come off, so you can't really verify it. Got the same ninja shoes that all the other ninjas that have shoes have. And then definitely an interesting thing is his arms. They're not really ninja arms. I feel like they're Duke arms. I don't have Duke available at the moment. But I feel like they're retro card Duke arms. And at some point I'll verify that. It was probably not going to be in this video. But I think they're Duke arms. So that you can have the sleeves up, so that you can put the Arashikage thing on there. And also they're tooled to be removable. So that's what I think is going on with that. Of course, he's got the hood on, as the original figure did, and this hood is only semi-removable. You can remove it, but it's not meant to come off. I'm okay with that. In the comic book, he always just sort of had it on anyway. He never had it off. But it's a really good figure, front to back, and I think they did a great job with it. I was one of the ones that sort of, I don't want to say I panned it, because I was like, well, I mean, maybe I don't really like that much, but I never really hated it. But I was sort of ambivalent about the red highlights, but I think it looks great. It looks awesome. There you go. So we'll get old Storm Shadow geared up so that we can do some comparisons. Alright, so we've got Storm Shadow geared up, and he looks great, even with his accessories on and everything, which you want. I decided to go 88 style with him, with the one claw and not two. He is most definitely better in hand than kind of what he was in pictures. So I think it's a win. So I think we can show some comparisons now. So first off, we'll bring in, of course, his best friend and sword brother. Guy that makes it all go. Snake Eyes. Next up, we'll bring in his cousin, Jinx. Jinx was recruited to the G.I.Joe team by Snake Eyes. According to her file card, you never really see it in the comic, but that's what they said. And finally, but not leastly, we will bring in Nunchuck. So, officially in toy form, Nunchuck is Storm Shadow's actual direct apprentice. We know in the comic book, Billy was his first apprentice. So we'll say Nunchuck is his second apprentice. So there's your current canonical G.I. Joe Ninja team thus far. I guess I could have put Kamakura in there, but we're just going to keep it to these guys for now. And I think we can move on to final thoughts. Final thoughts on G.I. Joe Classified Series 131, Storm Shadow. I really like this guy. I mean, again, he turned out much better than kind of what we thought we would be getting. A lot of people panned this figure immediately upon seeing it, but I'm sure a lot of people turned around and bought it anyway. I was never really that far out on it. I was somewhat ambivalent about the red, but it really looks a lot better in person, so I'm good with it. As far as an overall G.I. Joe Classified Series figure, I mean, they do really good job on Storm Shadow figures. He always seems to get really good figures. This one, in my opinion, is really good. I'm going to give him a Way I Got a Figure rank of 9. I think that covers it. He's not quite a 10, but he's not a 9. And if we get that retro card version, I'll be even happier. And Hasbro will be even happier because they now have bought 5 Storm Shadows. So that's going to be the final word on that. Thank you guys for watching. Thanks for tuning in. Thank you to all the new subscribers. We are working every day to get new and cool videos with cool figures up. And we're going to keep doing that into 2025. So please stick around. Like and subscribe. We'd love to have you on the journey. We're closing out 2024, and we still got some big things coming. So please stay tuned. Till next time, everybody stay safe. Peace.
The way I got it figured.